Hey guys, welcome to Dan Can. Hey, today I'm going to show you how to move a chandelier or a light fixture that's already in your house and move it to a different location. Now, this was the chandelier that was here when we moved into the house. Okay, it used to be a kitchen table right here, and we decided not to put the table here. We moved it over there. And so I switched out the chandelier and put a ceiling light here. Okay. Now we're going to move this chandelier and we're going to put it over here. And I'm going to show you how we're going to do that.
If Dan can, you can too.
All right, guys. So we have two existing can lights, and we plan on putting this chandelier right here in the middle. Okay, so what I've done is I've measured from each can light, center point to center point of each can light, and I found the middle. Okay, I've also then measured from the wall on each can light, and I've marked my spot. Okay, and then I've taken a hole saw and I've skewered that little spot. So I haven't gone all the way through, but just enough, okay? Reason being is I want to use, what is this?
Drywall saw.
Reason being is I want to use my drywall saw to identify if there is a joist up above, okay? So I'm poking through the middle, and then I'll go all the way to the side so I can feel it, and there's no joist there, so I'm good. And I'll go to the other side, and we're good there too, okay? And so no joist is there, so now I can just go all the way around and finish cutting it out. There's the first half. And there's our second half. Okay, one other thing I should mention. Another reason why to not use this and go all the way through is you have no idea what might be up there, right? There could be a wire or it could be other things that you don't want to be hitting with this pole saw or hole saw. But when you use a hand saw, then you can just feel by hand and you'll know if you're hitting something. Okay, all right, so I've got to this point. I've got this can light out and I've ran my wire all the way across. But let me show you how to take out a can light if it's in the ceiling already. Let me show you. Okay, so I have a nice can light here. This has the eyeball. I can just reach my fingers in here and then just pull down a little bit, okay? Now I've got two clips, here and here, and if I just squeeze them together, they come right off, okay? And there's just two wires there. Okay, now I have this still connected to the fixture here, and if I just take out this bulb, I can take that bulb out, and these two little black pieces on each end, I can just squeeze, and that comes right apart. Okay, then from here, there are just a couple of screws, 1, 2, and 3, and you just undo those, and then that can will just come right down. Okay, so now we need to put up a box, okay? I went and got a box that will expand from one joist to another joist. And you just lengthen it out and it'll get it all the way to the end. Now it has these little sharp points here on the ends, okay? You wanna make sure you get that right into the wood, okay? But before we do that, we're going to expand it out to about the length that we have, and we're sitting at about 20 inches right now, or so. So we'll wind that out there, And we're gonna take off this box first before we put it up because we have a small little hole. So it has two little nuts here that we're just gonna take off real fast. I've got these started here, so we can just pull these off. Okay, so the way this will work is upside down, it will be like this, okay? And this A-frame here will end up sitting right on the sheetrock itself. And the box then will come out a little bit farther from the sheetrock. Okay, so what you gotta make sure is that this is definitely lined up with the hole, because you have a small hole in your sheetrock and this has to fit right inside of it. If you're off a little bit, you're gonna miss, right? And you don't wanna have to make that hole bigger. So make sure this is nice and lined up before you get it all the way in. Okay, and finally, right when you think you've got it to nice and tight, take a crescent wrench and turn that just a little bit more so you can get that good and tight up against the two joists. Okay, we have it up in here now. I have my brace and my box, or my bracket and my box, and this is all good and tight. We tightened it up with a wrench, a crescent wrench, and this is now strong enough that I can pretty much almost hang on it, right? I just used a little crescent wrench to tighten it up, and now it feels strong. Now it says the rating's 50 pounds, but I almost feel like I could hang on this. This is so strong right now. So now we're just going to put the bracket over and put it on, and then we're going to connect up the box, tighten it up with the nuts, and we'll be ready to hang the fixture. Okay, we need to get the box ready, so we knock out a hole and we can just pop it out and then just kind of twist back and forth to get the little plug out there. Then we're going to use this plastic piece that comes with it, and that's going to pop right into there. And then our wire is going to go down in it. So that wire will just come right down into that hole. And once it goes in, it's in and it won't come back out. So you don't want to go too far into it. So about right there, and we'll let it sit. Okay, look at that. This is perfection. Here we go. So the box goes straight in, and as you can see, those little bolts, they popped right into the holes. Now we're just going to put the nuts right back on it, tighten it down, and we'll have a nice secure box to play with. Okay, we're going to unscrew these bolts that came with the box here. And then this is the bracket here that came with the chandelier that we're going to replace. So we're just going to use this little bracket here. And just tighten it up. Let's get it started here. So we can then hang the chandelier and then connect our wires. Okay, we're going to get the wire ready here, and we're going to cut down the length of the wire just barely to get that yellow plastic outside covering off so we can get to it. Okay, now we have our wiring exposed. We can trim that up to what we need to the right length. And then we'll be ready to connect it to the chandelier. Okay, so we now have the chandelier hanging. What we ended up doing is taking this bracket here and screwing it on to the bolt from the chandelier right here. Okay, so we screwed it on right here, and then it was a two-man job here, but we were able to hold the chandelier, and yes, it's quite a big chandelier. We were able to hold the chandelier while the other person screwed in the nuts. Here, and that bolt right there on this end, and one nut right here on this end. Okay, so now we're going to finish tightening this up. Okay, now we're going to finish tightening this part up. We'll tighten this up by hand as much as we can, and then we'll use a wrench here and just kind of finish tightening by hand, or with a wrench. Alright, so now it's good and snug, and now we have the wires that are ready to go for the chandelier, and we're going to connect them with the wires that we just ran. So the white will connect to one side, the black will connect to the other side, and then the ground wire here, this one without a plastic covering, it will get connected up here to this ground wire from the chandelier, and they'll get connected to this green bolt right there. Okay, so now we're going to find the wires for this box. Now if we follow this cable all the way up, it'll take us right up into the box. Okay, and there's a cover right on it and a little clip, and you can just pull that clip right off. And it shows now the wire connections that are in that box. Now we're going to use a little tool to make sure that there is no power, no hot wires going on there at all. And if there was, we'd be hearing a lot of beeping, and there's not right now, so we know we're safe. Okay, so we're going to prep this wire on this end now. We've trimmed it up a little bit, and now we're going to cut the yellow plastic off. And while he's getting that ready, what we ended up doing is pulling off a little tab off the box, off the metal box up here. So a little tab on the top we ended up pulling off, so now we can run this yellow wire down through that hole. And there we are. So the wires are coming down through the box now. Okay, so it's always important to have a good pair of strippers, so you can strip off that wire just on the end there, about an inch or so. Okay, we've taken the wire, the white wire, and we took off one of the wire nuts that were already connected with the white wires. And now we're connecting our new white wire to the existing white wires. And then we're twisting on a wire nut. Okay, now we'll do the same with the black wire and the ground wire. So twisting these existing wires together to make sure they're good and strong before we put on our fixture wire. Then we put on the fixture wire twist it on top and then twist on the wire nut. Now Dave, what were you saying about twisting on wire nuts?
You want this connection before the wire nut of these wires to be good and solid and tight together. Any loose connections can definitely cause the sparking and the arcing. That'll cause your connection points to heat up and potential house fires. So you want these connections solid before you put this wire nut on. This wire nut can help hold the connection together, but it's there also to cover up the termination points so there's no chance of a short circuit or a ground fault.
Okay.
Put those back in there, and then we'll do the ground and put the cover back on.
Okay, so now we're finishing up the ground, getting that ready to go. We're gonna twist on the wire nut. And again, make sure it's good and tight. There we go, and then we push it back into the box. Okay, now we're time to put the plate back on, and we can start to reassemble everything. Okay, we have it all connected, and before we put the can light in, we wanted to test it, make sure that our connections were good. So we went down and flipped the circuit breaker now, and we have light on the chandelier. Perfect. Okay, so now we'll go downstairs and turn the circuit breaker back off so we can put this back in and put it all back together. Okay, we're just going to put those few screws back in to connect the box to the flange there on the outside. Now we're going to reconnect the fixture. Again, squeeze the little black edges on top. It just squeezes right into the back. And then you got the little wires, you squeeze those together and they connect right up in on those connections there. And you're able to just push it right up. And then you can take your bolt and screw it in. And we've got light. Hey, thanks Dave for your help, I appreciate it.
Anytime, Dan.
And now that Dan can, you can too. What do we call this thing again?
Pulsa.
Pulsa? Pulsa. Okay. Is it still running?